Hi everybody. I missed you yesterday. It was an important day, I think, for a lot of people just to kind of get a little centered in this scrambling that's going on. We have so many things that we're trying to deal with at one time. Um, the righteousness of humanity, the wellness of humanity in terms of the pandemic. So many things that really are on our plate right now that it's a lot to think about and a lot to deal with. So I'm glad I took the day off and talked to a lot of people, and now we're back again. So I'm going to continue on. One of the things that I get asked a lot is there's certain songs that I've been asked to maybe take a stab at, like Children of the Sun that we did with Billy Thorpe and songs like that. There is so much involved in those songs and so much production, and on so many of these, like on Children of the Sun, I played multiple basses on that. So it's really, it, I'm really happy to talk about the projects and then maybe just play the YouTube or the CD, whatever I've got of it, and maybe turn some people on to the stuff that are completely not aware of it. But some songs are just really not possible to sit here in this little setup. I don't have the pedals that I used, and we're miking amplifiers and doing all this stuff. But today I'm going to take a stab and give you a little idea of one of those songs. I've always been a huge fan of like the inside tracks on albums. You have like all the big hit songs and stuff that everybody loves, but then there's those other songs that don't really get the attention or the airplay. And some of those are my absolute favorite songs on projects. And the one I'm going to do now is, it's a Phil Collins song, and it's called Long, Long Way to Go. And when we recorded this, we did this, it's on the No Jacket Required album, and we did it at Townhouse Studios in London, and Hugh Padgham was engineering. I'm not sure if Hugh and Phil may have co-produced the album. I'm not sure. But I know Huey engineered, and he was a fabulous engineer. I love working with him whenever I can. But the thing that was fun on this one is Phil just came in with this little programmed part, and I've got about 3 or 4 basses on this track. I did most all of it with a volume pedal. The intro is a line. That line starts and ends the song. It was, I did that, I believe, on a piccolo bass with an octave divider on it, and it's got some schmutz on it. We've got Huey worked his magic on it. Then I did this one though with Frankenstein on it, so I drop tuned the E string to a D because the pedal point on this is all a D drone. We put a lot of compression on it so that when I hit a low note on that, when it was an open note, it rings forever. But I volumed it in, and the sustain is incredible. I don't have any of that set up here, and I'm going to do it on the 5 just so I can give you that. And then there's 2. I believe the bridge happens twice on it. I'll find out when I get there. And Sting came in and played and sang background vocals with Phil on this. But it's just one of these. Phil was always so good at writing mood. He did great things with, I love where so many people have like these really involved bass lines. The way he writes on a lot of his songs, the bass is just a drone and there's changes sit on top. But it was Daryl Stuermer and myself in there. And then everything else was just a sequence that Phil had put together for it. But so I'm going to play along with this just to show you kind of the part, but it's not the atmosphere that was there, because really almost everything I play on this song on the record is done with volume pedal, almost eluding to a string bass in terms of feel. But I would encourage you to go back and listen to No Jacket Required and Long, Long Way to Go, and you can hear really the essence of what I'm trying to describe here. But so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in, and then we'll visit afterwards. And wish me luck. Here we go. Hold on, I'm right in at the top, so I'm gonna try to grab this. Because I don't have the sustain or the compression on it to
Someone left me, it's on
what I was trying to cough out to you was, while I'm playing that, there's also is maintained underneath that. That's where the beauty of being able to, layer other parts on. So this has, it has an effect on it, and I believe that it was, it might have been the bass doubled with a piccolo bass, which is an octave higher than traditional bass. And then there was a lot of just mood that Hugh put on the, as that rang out. But being that it was, excuse me, that it was a drop D, I was able to, so when I hit it, it just rings forever on that. And the old Frankenstein, which is sitting here, really has sustain, but this one too, listen. It's unbelievable how these go. But I did that all, like I said, with a volume pedal, so that it had that mood of like an upright bass on it. But I love songs like that. I love that kind of mood. It's just ethereal, and no giant bells or whistles. It's just a great atmosphere. And Phil's just great at that. But I've done other projects. There was when I talked about No Other with Gene Clark, it was the same thing. I think I have 5 basses on that track, doing all kinds of different stuff, fuzz tone, overdrive, octave dividers and stuff. And it's really fun. It's rare that somebody will say, "Go for it, let's try something." And I'm always appreciative when I get that chance to do things. I have to be very careful sometimes and think about where we're headed with the song, because if I play a bass part and they tell me, "Oh, let's double it," man, if I wasn't cognizant of that's what we were going to do, doubling something that I've just played is almost impossible for me, because I never play anything the same way twice. So I have to really nail down a part in my mind if I know I'm going to double it, or double with a piccolo, which is really fun when I've gotten to do that, because I can keep the fundamental bass, but then when I put the piccolo bass on, which is an octave higher, I can put, some kind of effect on it. So it not only does it create almost like the sound of an 8-string bass, but it's an 8-string with this other thing going on the top end, yet maintaining a solid fundamental on the bottom. So it's fun, boy. Whenever you're in a position where you can just experiment and take something a little bit out, do it. At the end of it, I may, spend an hour doing something, and then at the end they'll go, yeah, kind of like just the regular old bass part on it. And that's where your ego disappears, and you go, okay, yeah, it's your project. Let's do what you want to do. I got a chance to express what I thought might be something that would make it more interesting to my mind. But sometimes I'll hear it afterwards and I go, no, that part would have been too weird and too busy for where this thing's ending up now. So the main thing is, man, put your ego on the back seat and just work with, if you're doing an album, you're working with a group of people and you're working with somebody who's paying the bill. So you can't, don't enforce or impose yourself on them, but always be comfortable enough and confident enough to throw ideas out, and know that they may not like them, but they may just go, great. I've worked on some projects where all of a sudden the bass becomes the hook of the whole thing, because they allowed me to do something that they hadn't planned on, and they go, oh, that's great, man. That's fantastic. And it's a collaborative experience, though. When you're in the studio working, it really is a group effort, and really think about everybody's parts. Don't be afraid to mention to another guy, if there's a guitar player, keyboard player, drummer, whatever, and say, let's try this, let's do this. And they may fight it, but if they're a good player, they'll say, yeah, let's try it. It might be great, and it might suck. and that's what you have to be prepared for. So I just wanted to go down. I had, once again, I'm staring at all kinds of songs like Rosanna, Running on Empty. There's so many songs. I'm thinking I'd like to go. I also want to visit like Neil Sedaka. I had the joy of when he had such a monumental career when he was young, kind of like Carole King and Jerry Goffin. He was one of the Brill building incredible songwriters and wrote all these hits back in the early days, and then had a comeback. And I was fortunate enough to be one of the guys that got to play on Sedaka's back and play Laughter in the Rain and all these songs with him. So, and he's amazing. So at some point, I'm going to visit some Neil and maybe some Rita Coolidge. I mean, there's like so many things. I keep looking at all these. I'm not going to say any more names because I don't have my keys up here to drop on the floor as I mention names. I'm not going to go that route. But so right now, I love that song of Phil, though. I think, it's just a cool vibe on it. But I'm going to let you go on with your day. I'll go on with my day at this point. And it's hot here, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to accomplish outside. And but it's another day. It's another day. So let's try to have a good day. I keep finding myself sounding like Mr. Rogers. I mean, I love Mr. Rogers. He was really great. And if you've never seen the documentary movie, I'm not talking about the Tom Hanks one. I'm talking about the documentary about Mr. Rogers. It's great. This dude really was far more than the surface treatment made you think he was. Quite a man. So have a great day, though, and lots going on out there. Be careful if you're out. I mean, I know tons of places right now are dealing with curfews and stuff. Don't get yourself caught up in something that you can't get out of. Just be safe. Be safe. And again, you have to give a shout out because with all the stuff that's been going on, certainly in the States over the George Floyd situation, the pandemic, the virus hasn't taken time off just to let this all happen. It's still going on, and there's people working their butts off around the clock trying to save lives and help people. So give a shout to them. And I will see you tomorrow with I'll surprise myself and find something, but it's nice to be back. And I really appreciate all you guys. It's crazy. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers on this channel, and it's pretty inspiring to me. It really is motivation to come back every day and share with you. I love it. So take good care, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to reach over and try to knock my camera off the stand, and here it goes.